Alright, well, maybe those 2 or 3 comments on the Five Nights at Kendo's trailer were right. Maybe it's that was weird. But yeah, maybe it's not all that scary. Although scary isn't exactly what I was going for. I think I was more going for cool. What the? Oh, something really weird is going on, and Jesus! Hello again, YouTube, and welcome to Scribblenauts Unlimited, the object editor commentaries. I am Dr. Kendo, and this is the last day in July, and so it's the last kind of special video for Founders Month. This doesn't mean, of course, that there will be no special videos in the future of this channel, but Founders Month is basically, my channel was started in July of 2012, so every July is Founders Month, and I just like to do special things, more videos than usual, whatever, you know, kind of celebrate the month. And so I've got Five Nights at Kendo's, which is finally revealed fully here. It's a thing. And so, basically, this is a creation episode. I know that's some controversy or some confusion. I wanted to be cryptic about it, by the way, but unfortunately, people didn't quite get it, I think, when I showed a trailer off and started talking about it. A lot of people thought Five Nights at Kendo's was going to be a fan game. I'm not a game developer. If you are one, contact me and maybe we can make Five Nights at Kendo's the game. But I always intended it to be a Scribblenauts project, this creation project. We've got Nightmare Kendo. Yes, we're going to be creating Dr. Kendo, the avatar from Scribblenauts that I've used all the time for my character, but we're going to be Five Nightsing it up. So Nightmare Kendo here has Hydra feet, it's got claws for hands, ivory as the little bone spikes on its back, a pearl right now is going to be for this colored part of his eyes, a cobia fin is for the eyelids over that, with a golem shoulder piece for the black part around the eyes, and a bubble as the whites of the eyes, the main part. And pimple is going to be for the pupil right there. Of course, notice that there's this like cracked pattern on basically all of the clothes, and the cracked pattern with the red cracks on the hands and the ivory in the back. And a road hump is going to be where the mouth is, kind of like this sinister smile, and we're going to go ahead and add in teeth using Irish moss for Nightmare Kendo. If you saw at the very beginning of this episode, there was just a man on screen, so all of the characters start off with a source object of that man right there, except for maybe a few of them that we'll do in this episode, and I'll make sure to note whenever that happens, but otherwise, it's just like creating my avatar, which I made in episode 144. And adding in this, we did a fossil. You can take that kind of bottom jaw of a fossil to get that almost T-Rex looking jaw and teeth. That's for sort of the midsection of Nightmare Kendo. But then in putting down this tornado piece to do some ripped design on the pants, that has reached the stamp limit. Of course, you guys probably know, you're probably familiar with this series and everything, is that Scribblenauts Unlimited does have a limited amount of stamp space. A stamp is just any piece that you're using to create your object overall. So, you know, those claws, the fossil, the ivory, the mica head, all of that stuff. I do want to say, as we're moving on to Phantom Kendo now. Unfortunately, of all weeks for this to happen, I think I'm catching my wife's sickness. She was sick a little while ago, and I think I'm catching what she's got, because I don't feel very good. It's kind of a headachy, sore throat thing, so I hope that that's not affecting my voice too much for your commentary enjoyment. But we put down Loafer for the shoes right here for Phantom Kendo. We're going to remove that back arm, and I'm going to put down a hemisphere to be like the sleeve of the shirt. Basically, what we want to do is just make this arm like it's only half of the arm. And so to get the arm half, that was a golem's thigh piece. And so now I'm going to do root, and the root will be like some wires and things coming out of the half arm right there, like it was ripped off or something. And grass is what we're going to put down here, down just above the shoes. It's just design choices, and then we're going to go with the tornado and take kind of this middle bottom piece of it, and I'm going to put that in the head and actually have some wires and things coming out of the head as well. Phantom Kendo is all messed up like the Phantom animatronics. We got cattail to be the little wires, but freckles are gonna be just below that to be some more dirt and nastiness. Golem shoulder piece for the black around the eyes once again, and then you can do ball, you can do golf ball, you can do almost any of the round shapes that shrink down small enough to be the eyes. You want one of them to be kind of a little bit darker white, like a gray hue on it a little bit, and then a more solid white in the front. And so we took a road hump for the mouth again, but this time I'm turning it upside down, and it's gonna be sort of a more pained phantom face, I guess, than our nightmare. And so grills with a Z is gonna be for the teeth, both the upper and the lower level of teeth. And I got a tornado piece right here, and then moss is what we're putting down just now, and that's where the stamp space limitation is gonna be. You can create heads and bodies separately in this game, and then kind of script your head object to be worn on the head like a hat, or worn on the face like glasses, and that's kind of a way to get around stamp space limitations. But I thought for Five Nights at Kendo's, you know, we're not gonna go crazy like that, and we're already gonna be creating a ton of things in this episode. So by all means, I think I could fit the designs kind of in one object overall with a head and a body together rather than separately. So Withered Kendo, you guys have actually seen a hint of Withered Kendo when I did the FNAF World Withered animatronics. That was my avatar, and so I'm gonna kind of create a similar version to that. It's mostly gonna look like that avatar did, a few differences here and there. But yes, we put down chalk, the material chalk, for this kind of gaping hole in the middle of Withered Kendo, and a bolt. You can also use a screw if you want to, but a bolt is in there for some of the mechanical robotness, but also a heart is, the organ heart, of course, is tucked away back there. So then when you go to the paintbrush icon down there in the bottom middle, you can select a color, and so I'm going from their texture or pattern library of colors and things. On the 10th page, there's this almost like wood finish, and we're putting that on Withered Kendo because it looks all withery. Bodybuilder's back arm is for a hole there in the front arm of Withered Kendo. A cannoli with that ripped, nasty color pattern is for the teeth, with a squid upper tentacle piece as a line kind of going through the teeth to distinguish bottom and top. Same thing with the golem shoulder piece for the eyes, and you can go with a lot of different design options for the actual eyes themselves within, you know, Withered Kendo right here is missing an eye on the, it's to our right, to his left. But yeah, for the eye, you know, I used a bubble for the white part of the eyes, and then a pearl actually to be kind of the coloration in the eye, and a dot for the white dot within the eye. A hackberry is some crazy wiring and stuff on his back arm. Tornado pieces for some more ripping and withered patterns. And it was actually a jellyfish upper tentacle piece, not a squid, that was there to divide the teeth up. That same golem shoulder piece that we use for the eyes is also going to be for some toes kind of peeking out on the shoes, or at least the front leg for Withered Kendo. And so if it seems like it's moving pretty fast, that's because it is, because I've got a ton of things to create. I wanted to get a lot of different types of kendos here for Five Nights at Kendo's. And so this is Toy Kendo with a top hat on the top. We made the hair kind of almost Super Saiyan-y colored. It's like very bright yellow. And golem shoulder piece right now going to be for, we're actually going to turn it horizontally instead of kind of facing up and down. That's going to be for these eye holes back here. A bow tie, a sphere for the cheeks, the rosy cheeks. A bubble for the whites of the eyes. A ball is going to be for the pupils right there. Just putting that down. And so we're going to give Toy Kendo a microphone, so that'll look good right there. And yeah, we're not going to do a whole lot to this one. I'm going to give it some different shoes. So we'll just type in shoes right there and give it the shoes from Scribblenauts. And that looks good. All right, so then we've got Shadow Kendo here. We put a 29-page library down for like kind of a stripe on the shoes. It's all painted this purpley, dark purple, and light purple combination of colors. The letter I or a glow stick painted white is on the sole of the shoes on the very bottom. And then we've got octopus tentacles to be like a jaw line right there, because it's like Shadow Kendo is going to be like Shadow Freddy in FNAF World, where his jaw is kind of crooked. And so we did that with grills, and the road hump painted red for the inside of the mouth. And you saw probably just now, a little while ago, I typed in Joey and took the arms. A Joey is like a baby kangaroo, and that's like for some wires and stuff coming out of the head. head of Shadow Kendo. But then we've got Golden Kendo here, and he's sitting down, so basically you just remove the legs and color everything how I've colored it here. But then for where the legs are, I guess, we put down this golem shoulder piece, and that's going to be like his legs are bent and he's sitting down. And then D-O-U-G-H is for the shoes of Golden Kendo. And so now we've got Crying Kendo, like the crying child, and so I put down rectangles for the black part of the eyes at the top right here, and then we're going to type in the letter I and make it kind of a dark gray, almost blackish gray color right there for the tears coming down his face, and I'm going to make him short, tiny, shrink him down a bit, shrink the torso, shrink the arms, the legs, all of that stuff. And there's your Crying Kendo. And so this one will be interesting. It's going to be Paper Pal Kendo. We've got spheres right now that I'm putting down, one over the body and one on top of the head, but you want to have the mica hair showing up in the back, so we are going to have kind of that spiky hair look in the back right here for this Paper Pal Kendo. And then I'm going to go with Tim Borelli, that's how it's spelled on screen, and take the back arm of Tim Borelli. It kind of looks all wavy and strange, so I thought it would be a good stamp for the Paper Pal design. And so then I'm going to go with a bodybuilder, take the back arm of that. That's another kind of wavy looking arm or whatever, but we're going to do this twice for each leg, so that's 4 times total, 4 stamps of the bodybuilder arm, and that's the little Paper Pal legs. So a dot is done 4 times on each arm and on the legs, and that's kind of like for where it connects to the body, the paper body. And a gumball 3 times is going to be the buttons going down the middle. A chicken nugget, not only what we used for Withered Kendo's beard, but it's also going to be for the mouth here on the Paper Pal Kendo. And another chicken nugget that's white, and so the blue chicken nugget was just sort of the outline of it. And then we can go with a mola or a sunfish and make that be sort of for the outline of the eyes. And a P-E-A, is for the nose, as well as the black, the pupil right here on Paper Pal Kendo. So that last little P is going to be the final stamp that we can do for this one. In case you were curious about the scripting, it's all pretty light and not crazy involved, but for Paper Pal Kendo, I'm just having him hover instead of walk. So I checked off the boxes for hovering, and I made it so that he can be picked up in somebody's hand under the equipment tab. So that's all good. There we go. We'll save that. And then we'll get to work on JACK-O-KENDO. These are in no specific order of any kind. Painted cow print on the head, and then the kind of crackly pattern for the face, the shirt, the arms, and this lava pattern for the pants, as well as this chalk material piece that's going to go over the eyes. It's going to be kind of the backing of the eyes. And then there's like a checker pattern on the foot, the back foot there on JACK-O-KENDO. Irish moss is going to be for the 2 layers of teeth that we're putting down right here, with a rectangle in between that is black. And so I did move out his arm, of course, because I'm going to have JACK-O-KENDO hold a Kendo pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. So Irish moss is also going to be for a layer of teeth there in the middle. We actually did 3 Irish mosses. One is going to be the actual teeth. It has a checker pattern, but then behind that is kind of like an orange crackly pattern just for some design. And claws is going to be for the hand here on the front arm closest to us, but then that back arm is going to be where he's holding the jack-o'-lantern kendo. So here you just type in jack-o'-lantern, and of course I typed in mica to get the head once again, as you guys know from creating my avatar. But yes, the jack-o'-lantern was so that we could get the stem of the jack-o'-lantern, so that's why I typed that in and put it behind the mica head there. And scorpion upper tail piece is going to be for the eyes and the nose of the jack-o'-lantern with regular moss, so just moss for the mouth. A bodybuilder back arm is going to be for a hole in the head right there with a root coming out of that for like some wires and things. And then that same scorpion tail piece we were going to also make for extra claw designs on the claw hand right there for JACK-O-KENDO, and a tornado piece for some ripping in the pants. Alright everybody, this is going to be Spring-KENDO-TRAP, that for lack of a better, Springtrap Kendo basically. It could have been Spring-Kendo, but then people would think, oh, is that like supposed to be Spring Bonnie? But anyway, crackly pattern all around except for on the hair, that's the cow print. And bark is going to be for the half ear here to the front, it's to our left, Spring-KENDO-TRAP's right, with a golem's thigh piece to be the bottom half of the ear on the other side, and a ligament we put down there on the feet. It's like we want his feet to kind kind of be exposed like spring traps are. And then I put a cat tail down, the actual tail of a cat for the wire coming out of the bark. With a dolphin, if you take the back fin in the middle, you basically just, if you're, for instance, on Wii U, you put your stylus right down at the bottom kind of line of the dolphin. You don't even see the back fin. So if you're on PC, just mouse over it and click almost in the space right beneath the dolphin's body where its fin would be, so you can get the fin without the little black joint dot on it. And then a ball is going to be for the eye right here. We actually did the red crackly pattern because it looks like some veins in the eye, so it looks very creepy and awesome. So then I've used moss for kind of an eyelid, basically a very wavy eyelid. And then worm, we're going to go with the middle body piece of a worm right here, painted black of course. And a golf ball is going to be for kind of the darker part of the eyes. And then a P painted almost like a middle gray kind of texture is going to be for the dot within the eyes. Tornado pieces all around on the arms and stuff to be ripping and flesh coming out. And then an ostrich egg with that crackly pattern and a dark green hue is going to be here on the midsection for SPRING-KENDO-TRAP on the belly to chest. Silver sword is going to be for kind of like this big hole here in SPRING-KENDO-TRAP in the middle. And then intestine is what we typed in to have some nastiness there inside the hole, and more tornado pieces until we ran out of stamp space right there. It looks good. And back when I made an endoskeleton in episode 100, that was, of Scribblenauts Unlimited, the series, I remember there was somebody that said kendoskeleton, and after that one comment, I'll admit I wasn't the first one to think of that name, but then after that, everybody feels that they thought of it because I constantly get comments on that video saying, it's a kendoskeleton. And so we do have a kendoskeleton right here. We still started off with that man source object from before, but we've got leaves as the ears, so just type in a leaf. Warmer, like the leg warmers or whatever, are the lines on the ears. Mica is the head, once again, as we've always been doing, but Burning Man is the body, so if you type in Burning Man, just take the body of the Burning Man right there and put it over the body of the man. And then the letter I is a line down there in between the eyes, with dentures being the teeth, the main part of the teeth. The octopus tentacle pieces are what I just took away right there, and they're on either side of the teeth, so they're on both sides. And there's a gelatin kind of in the middle of the mouth, painted almost black. And hemispheres are the eyelids as well as the whites of the eyes down below the eyelids. And then you can use ball or golf ball as sort of the color of the eyes in there, with a P or pimple to be the pupil. Either one will work. I used P for this one. And so then I've also got, of course, just the arms and the legs are still kept on from our kendo creation and everything, but I put receiver gloves down there to be kind of these hands and stuff. Of course, give them that newspaper pattern that looks all circuit-like, as well as the circuitry pattern down on the Hydra feet. Those are the feet right there, the legs of a Hydra, or feet of a Hydra, I should say. So yes, hopefully you could see how to create that as I took away each piece and put them back together. It's a pretty fun creation. Metallic-y hair. And then if we kind of keep that same creation, like copy it, but then take off a lot of those other pieces from the head, we can make KENDOPLUSH, which is like ENDOPLUSH, of course. And so KENDOPLUSH we took away the Hydra feet and put down mecha. The feet of a mecha are down at the bottom underneath the legs of the kendo creation. Octopus straight tentacle piece for the top and bottom. You could almost call them lips, but like tops and bottom of the mouth, with Irish moss for the teeth within that. And a tube painted black is in the middle of all of that, the mouth. The receiver gloves are still there, the Burning Man body's still there and all that, but we've just got bubble for the whites of the eyes, a golf ball for the really green eyes, and the eyes are crazy like ENDOPLUSH's eyes are kind of, big and freaked out looking. Well, then I've also got a pearl there in the middle of the Burning Man body. There was a look at the Burning Man body, by the way, just in case you wanted to see what that looked like when you type it in. And of course, that octopus piece that we use for the mouth is also for these two little like antennas or spikes on the head. And so yeah, I like the look of this kind of crazy KENDOPLUSH. He's hilarious. And so hopefully you noticed on the receiver gloves, they're sort of painted with that metallic-y pattern that's also on the hair right there. The receiver gloves without any kind of color on them or patterns, they have like a square on the top of them, or sort of smack dab in the middle, and so that does a good job of getting rid of it when you put that metallic color pattern. We're gonna be getting to the last few creations, which might be good. My throat's really killing me. But we've got FUNTIME Kendo. Of course, I think a lot of you guys liked FUNTIME Kendo from the FUNTIME Freddy and FUNTIME Foxy creations of Sister Location somewhat recently, last month. One of the big things you noticed, of course, is that FUNTIME Kendo has a Kendo puppet, so that's a fez as the body of the puppet right there, and you just attach it to the arm. So the fez, and then just mica, and the same arms that you've got on the FUNTIME Kendo, the Dr. Kendo creation, are the same ones for the FUNTIME Kendo's puppet. And so here's a look at mica, again, just if you need a reminder of seeing that. But yeah, with squid upper tentacle pieces for the lines in the face right there, spheres as the little speaker there on the chest, and pearl is going to be for the cheeks. And otherwise, the rest of it is mostly just kind of coloring it accordingly, as you see there. All right, so now we've got Adventure Kendo coming up right here, and it's a scorpion upper tail piece. That same one we used on JACK-O-KENDO's jack-o'-lantern right there. That's for the nose on Adventure Kendo. A road hump is going to be for the main black part of the mouth right there with grills as the teeth. And of course, we put a bow tie on him. Adventure Kendo is totally Freddy-like. I think he's kind of like a combination of like Freddy and Balloon Boy's designs. BB from FNAF World, sort of. Bubble for the whites of the eyes. And a golf ball is for the blue in the eyes right there, that color. So we'll take that away. And a P is going to be for the pimple once again. We've used that a lot in this episode. But then I also did a pimple this time to be sort of a white glow around the eyes. So it's for that glimmer and glisten and shininess of the eye right there. And then on the 20th page of the 29-page library, you can take this arm shape for the eyebrows there in the bottom middle. Otherwise, it's probably pretty self-explanatory for Adventure Kendo. So we'll move on with a teddy bear as the source object, deviating from that man source object. We'll put Micah's head on the teddy bear because we're going to be creating Plushie Kendo, the little plushie toy, and we're going to put a bow tie on it. Why not? It's going to be like the Freddy plush for the most part, but with the Kendo head. We'll give him the little red shoes. For those who don't know, if you didn't see the episodes back in the days, I did give myself red shoes because back in college and a little bit in high school, I wore red Converse, and so I love the signature red shoes. I haven't worn them a lot in my adult life, but I still love them and own that design. Clown nose is going to be for like fists or whatever balled up there on either side for our Kendo plushie. A bowler hat is going to be the hat that he's wearing. Up at the top, we're going to kind of curve it a little bit so you can see the spiky hairness there in the front. And so then we're going to take golf ball. We're going to actually do this 4 times because it's for both eyes, but it's also going to be the blue color, the light blue there. And P is going to be for the pupil yet again. Going into the 29-page library, take that same arm from the 20th page bottom middle, and it's slightly bent, but we're also going to take the kind of top right arm as well that looks mostly straight, and we're going to make a smile with 3 of those. So the bent arm on both sides, and then the straight arm in the middle. And then on the 22nd page, there's also a bended arm in there, sort of near the bottom middle, and that's going to be for a nose, like a line of a nose there on our plushie Kendo. And I'll give him sparkly eyes as well with the pimple painted white, so that looks good right there. And we're going to type in pearl this time just to show off something. I don't think I'm going to keep it on my final design, but if you guys wanted a pearl to be the rosy cheeks, this is sort of what it would look like if you gave it some cheeks, but I think I'm going to take those off for my final look of plushie Kendo. Looks good. We're going to give him a crap ton of health just so that he's immortal. Well, he's not technically immortal, but he's got a lot of health in this game. And I'm also going to make him scripted to be worn on the head like a hat so that people can wear him on the top of their head. So that looks awesome. We'll go ahead and now see our entire Kendo lineup. FUNTIME Kendo is going to be for my avatar, so that's, just in case you were curious, where's FUNTIME Kendo? It is my avatar. Anyway, there's a look at everybody. This is so cool, and certainly there are even other ones that we probably could have created, It could have been like Chica Kendo or something like that, but I didn't want to get too nitty-gritty on all the different types of FNAF things. There's also the marionette and all that stuff, and so it's like there was so much that we could have included. I just kind of went with most of the general categories and then did some fun extra things in there for you. But also there's a Kendo cupcake. The Kendo cupcake is created a lot like the Nightmare Cupcake episode. Just glue as the source object, mica head, mola for the black of the eyes, a tear for the flame at the top, letter I for the candle, and all of that. So probably my favorite is on screen right here is going to be the Nightmare Kendo. I think that was my favorite design for how it came out, and that was the character that you guys saw in the trailer running through. He basically ran across the window in that office model that I did, but then he also did a semi-jump scare at the end. No, it wasn't really supposed to be scary, like legitimately scary. I think it was just supposed to play on the trailers from Five Nights at Freddy's. But anyway, there's a look on screen at all of the creations from this episode, and I just would like to thank all of you for a very awesome Founders Month. We did some fun things, special episodes, all that goodness. So if you go to my channel and also check out the monthly Scribble review to come, you'll see the Scribblenauts and non-Scribblenauts stuff that we did all month. So please, definitely, I would love for you to check out all of the other stuff that we've done for July. And with that, I love all of you, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.